She found him dying, abandoned on a battlefield no one dared to enter. Asterisk, a kind doctor, who risked her
Stay
life
with
to
me.
save a stranger.
Come on, breathe.
Asterisk,
Don't
but the
die on
moment
me.
he wakes up, he mocks her. Asterisk, he insults the very woman who saved his life. But she has no idea who he really is. A billionaire, left to die. And the reason will change everything. Asterisk, the storm rolled across the city like an angry beast. Its thunder rattling the hospital windows as if warning of the chaos about to unfold. Inside St. Clair's Emergency Center, Dr. Elena Hart hurried through the dimly lit hallway, her shoes squeaking against the polished floor. She'd just finished a grueling 14-hour shift, and exhaustion clung to her like a second skin. She was ready to sign off, go home, and collapse into bed. But fate had other plans. The sharp screech of ambulance brakes outside. The emergency entrance shattered the brief silence. Two paramedics burst through the doors, drenched from the pounding rain. Between them lay a man on a stretcher, unconscious, blood-soaked, and barely breathing. Asterisk, gunshot wound to the abdomen, one paramedic shouted. He's crashing. Asterisk, Elena snapped into action. OR prep right now. Keep the pressure on the wound. Asterisk, the man was barely recognizable. His clothes were torn as if he'd crawled through mud and rubble. His face was bruised, half hidden under matted hair. No military tags, no identification. Just the faint remnants of a uniform that didn't match any active regiment. Asterisk, as they rushed him to the operating room. Elena caught the brief flicker of his eye steel gray, sharp even in weakness, like someone who was used to danger. But within seconds, they fluttered shut again. Asterisk, inside the brightly lit OR, the atmosphere shifted. Everything became sharper, colder, controlled. Elena scrubbed in, tied her mask, stepped forward like a soldier entering a battlefield. Asterisk, the moment she opened him up, she knew it was bad. The bullet had ricocheted, tearing through tissue in a chaotic path. Asterisk, he needs a transfusion. Start another line, Elena ordered. Her voice was steady and shaken. Asterisk, for nearly 2 hours she fought hard. Her hands moved with precision. Her mind calculated every risk. Sweat trickled down her temple, but she didn't stop, didn't hesitate. Lives were her calling. No questions asked. Whether the man was a criminal, a soldier, or a stranger, it didn't matter. Asterisk, finally, the bleeding slowed. The monitors stabilized. Asterisk, he's coming back, whispered the anesthetist. Asterisk, Elena exhaled, her knees threatening to buckle from fatigue and adrenaline. Close him up gently, she said. Asterisk, as they wheeled the patient to recovery. A nurse murmured, we don't even know his name. Why go so far for him? Asterisk, Elena brushed off the comment. Because someone has to. Asterisk, but unbeknownst to her, in the shadows of the hospital corridor stood a man in a long black coat. He wasn't a visitor nor part of the medical staff. His sharp eyes watched Elena's every move. Asterisk, he pulled out his phone and whispered coldly, he survived. But the doctor, she's seen too much. Asterisk, then he disappeared into the night, leaving behind a chill that even the OR lights couldn't warm. Asterisk, morning sunlight crept into the recovery ward. Soft and golden, a stark contrast to the night's chaos. The hospital smelled faintly of disinfectant and fresh linens, an illusion of peace masking the storm. Beneath. Asterisk, Elena walked into the recovery room with a clipboard in hand. She hesitated at the foot of the bed. The soldier, her patient, was awake. His eyes were open, those same piercing gray irises now alert yet haunted. Asterisk, you're safe, she said gently. I'm Dr. Elena Hart. You were critically wounded, but the surgery was successful. Asterisk. The man didn't respond. His eyes flicked toward her briefly, then away. As if she didn't matter, like she was just another passing figure in his war-torn world. Asterisk, she didn't take it personally. Trauma patients often reacted like this, but things changed quickly. Two men in immaculate suits entered without knocking. They looked dangerously out of place in a hospital, like predators in a sanctuary. Their expressions were polished masks of superiority. Asterisk, we're here for him, one said, nodding at the patient. His tone was smug, authoritative, and dismissive all at once. Asterisk, Alina frowned. And you are? Asterisk associates, the man said. We'll be handling his transfer. Asterisk, Alina stepped between them and the bed. He's not stable enough for release. I won't allow it. The men exchanged a mocking smile. The patient, who had remained silent until now, spoke with bitterness. Enough. I didn't ask her to save me. Asterisk, Alina froze. The words hit her like a slap. Nurses nearby pretended not to stare, but their eyes flicked between the doctor and the men, like spectators at a private tragedy. Asterisk, you're alive because she fought for you, a nurse murmured, unable to stay quiet. Asterisk, but the suited man laughed. Some lives are more valuable than others, doctor, and some people should know their limits. Their casual cruelty stung deeper than the patient's words. Alina swallowed hard. I did my job. That's all, asterisk. The room felt colder. Shame and confusion twisted inside her chest. She stepped back, suddenly aware of how small she felt under their belittling gazes. Asterisk, as she walked out. The suited men smirked triumphantly. Asterisk, but the man on the bed, despite. The harsh words he'd thrown followed her with regret simmering in his eyes. Asterisk, he hadn't meant to hurt her. But he couldn't afford kindness. Not yet. Asterisk, because if anyone knew who he truly was, they would kill for that knowledge. Asterisk, the sun dipped behind darkening clouds as Alina sat alone in the staff lounge. She wrapped her hands around a lukewarm cup of tea, though she hadn't taken a sip. Her mind replayed the humiliation over and over, the cold words from a man whose life she'd saved, and the taunts from the arrogant strangers claiming to be his associates. Asterisk, why did I care? She whispered to herself. She wasn't new to ungrateful patients, but this one. Something about him felt different. Asterisk, elsewhere in a secure wing of the hospital. The same man known publicly as Adrian Val sat upright. His expression stormier than the sky outside. Asterisk, his two associates hovered nearby. Tension thick in the room. Asterisk, we should move you, one insisted. The longer you stay, the higher the risk. Asterisk, Adrian's jaw tightened. You didn't have to insult her. Asterisk, his associate shrugged. Better she feels nothing for you. If she thinks she owes you or cares for you, she becomes a target. Asterisk, Adrian looked out the window, avoiding their eyes. She saved my life. Asterisk, but she doesn't know the truth, the other man said sharply, and it needs to stay that way. Asterisk, the truth was heavier than the bullet that nearly killed him. Adrian wasn't just a soldier. He wasn't even part of the military. Asterisk, he was the billionaire CEO of Vale Industries, a global giant in advanced defense technology. His uniform had been a decoy, part of a covert security protocol gone wrong. Asterisk, the attack was no accident. Rivals had tried to abduct him for classified designs worth billions. He escaped but barely. Asterisk, and now, because Alina had stepped into the crossfire of fate, she was unknowingly tangled in his world, a world where a single wrong detail could get her killed. Asterisk, his associate tapped a tablet. The attackers are scanning for hospital footage. They know you're alive. It's only a matter of time before they track you down. Asterisk, Adrian's eyes hardened. Not if I disappear before they find me. Asterisk, but the doctor, the guard added. She saw your face. She saw too much. Asterisk, Adrian's gaze sharpened. She saw a dying man, he snapped. Nothing more. Asterisk, but deep inside, he knew that wasn't true. Alina had seen his vulnerability, something he couldn't afford anyone to witness. Asterisk? What he didn't know was that someone else was already investigating the hospital. Asterisk, inside the security control room. A masked figure silently inserted a device into the CCTV panel. Screens blinked. Footage rewound. Images of Adrian being rushed inside flashed across the monitors. Asterisk, the figure whispered into a mic, confirmed. He's here, and he's not alone. Outside, thunder cracked again. another warning of the storm about to consume them all. The hospital seemed quieter than usual, unnaturally so. St. Clair's was almost always full of sound nurses walking briskly, machines beeping, visitors whispering, carts rolling down hallways. But tonight the silence felt heavy, like a thick fog settling into every corner. Alina sensed it before anyone said a word. A strange tension floated in the air, something unseen yet unmistakably present. Around 8 p.m., a young nurse approached her with wide, unsettled eyes. Dr. Hart. Someone's been tampering with the patient logs. Alina frowned. Who? That's the problem. We don't know. Certain files are missing, especially from the emergency admissions last night. Her heart stuttered. The unknown soldier. The nurse nodded nervously. Alina tried to reassure her, though unease crawled down her spine. Probably a technical glitch. I'll ask IT to check. But deep inside, she already knew this was no glitch. A few minutes later, the hallway lights dimmed, then flickered. Once, twice, then again, harder. The lights above the surgical wing buzzed as if someone was tampering with the electrical system. Alina sighed, rubbing her temples. Not tonight. She gathered her charts and headed down the corridor. As she walked, she swore she heard someone behind her, soft footsteps, matching her pace. She turned swiftly. No one. Yet a cold prickle ran across her neck. She resumed walking, faster this time. The reflection of the glass cabinet near her caught her eye and her heart dropped. A shadow. Behind her, when she spun around again, the hallway was empty. Her phone buzzed suddenly, startling her. It was a message from an unknown number. Leave the hospital immediately. You are in danger. Before she could react, someone grabbed her wrist. Alina gasped, ready to scream until she saw the familiar face hidden beneath a HOAD Adrian. His eyes were sharp, alert, urgently focused. You need to leave, he whispered. Now, what is happening? She demanded, breath trembling. But he didn't answer. Instead, he pulled her behind a supply cart just as shattering glass echoed through the hallway. 3 masked men entered from the far end, moving in a formation too professional for petty criminals. Steps were slow, controlled. Hunting Elena's pulse thundered in her ears. They were searching for Adrian, and possibly her. Adrian whispered, those men aren't here to scare anyone. They're here to eliminate witnesses. Her breath caught. Suddenly, the hospital wasn't a place of healing anymore. Had become a battlefield. Adrian held Alina tightly against the wall as the masked men swept down the hallway with terrifying precision. Each one carried a compact, suppressed weapon, silent, deadly, efficient. These weren't desperate attackers. They were professionals. Elena's fingers trembled slightly against the cold wall. Adrian, tell me the truth. Who are you? He inhaled slowly, conflicted. But with armed men closing in, there was no time left for secrets. My name is Adrian Vale, he whispered. I'm not a soldier. I never was. I'm the CEO of Vale Industries. Alina blinked. The name hit her like a jolt of electricity. You're that Adrian Vale. The billionaire. The one involved with weapons development. He nodded reluctantly. My company designs defense technologies. Someone wants access to classified prototypes. Last night's attack wasn't an accident. They were trying to kidnap me. Her mouth fell open slightly. Everything suddenly made sense. The suits, the secrecy, the strange behavior. And you let me think you were ungrateful, she whispered, hurt nodding in her voice. It was safer if you disliked me, he said softly. If you stayed emotionally distant, they wouldn't suspect you meant anything to me. But I didn't. And now I'm involved anyway. She hissed. A bullet sliced through the wall inches above their heads. Alina flinched. No more conversation. Adrian grabbed her hand and pulled her into a dark consultation room. The masked men stopped near the doorway. Silence hung like a blade in the air. Asterisk then. Footsteps. Asterisk Adrian's associates appeared at the far end of the hallway, armed and ready. A tightly choreographed firefight erupted, silenced weapons flashing in near darkness. Bullets slicing through sterile walls. Asterisk Alina crouched behind a cabinet, covering her ears as chaos unfolded. Asterisk one masked man fell. Another retreated. The last escaped through an emergency exit. Asterisk Adrian's men secured the hallway. But danger still lingered. Asterisk Alina looked at Adrian, her breath uneven. You should have told me. Asterisk his gaze softened. You didn't deserve the way I spoke to you. You saved my life, and now I intend to protect yours. Asterisk, something shifted between them, no longer doctor and patient. No longer strangers, but allies. Before either could say more, Adrian's guard rushed in. They'll be back. We need to move, now. Asterisk Alina's world had shattered, but strangely. She felt stronger than ever, because truth, even dark truth, was better than lies. The hospital went into lockdown, alarms blaring as security scrambled. Police vehicles surrounded the building, lights flashing in frantic patterns. But Adrian knew they wouldn't stop what was coming. Asterisk. These men aren't scared of police, he told Alina. They're funded, trained, and desperate. Asterisk. Alina walked beside him as his security team guided them through a hidden service corridor often used for VIP patients. Her mind raced. Asterisk. So what happens now? I'm just involved in your secret war? Asterisk. Adrian stopped walking and turned to her. His face, normally unreadable, held sincerity she hadn't seen before. Asterisk. You're involved because you saved me, he said gently. And people don't risk their lives for me without consequences. I won't let you pay that price alone. Alina felt warmth bloom in her chest despite the fear tightening her stomach. They stepped into the underground parking area, long, cold concrete hall echoing with distant alarms. Two armored vehicles waited, engines quietly rumbling. Asterisk. Just as they approached, a thunderous explosion rocked the ground beneath them. Dust rained from the ceiling. Alina stumbled forward, but Adrian caught her instantly, shielding her with his body as debris fell around them. Asterisk. Stay down, he yelled. Asterisk. Another blast shook the doors at the far ends. One was trying to breach the underground entrance. Asterisk. Adrian's men scrambled into defensive positions. One shouted, "Thermal signatures incoming. They've got breaching charges." Asterisk. Alina's heart hammered wildly. This is insane. Asterisk. But it's real, Adrian said, gripping her hand firmly. This is the world I live in, and now you're a part of it. But I swear to you, I'll keep you alive. Despite the chaos, she believed him. The armored vehicle door opened with a hiss. Adrian pushed her inside first. Get down and stay low. Asterisk. As the vehicle roared forward, gunfire erupted behind them. Shadows of attackers darted between pillars, chasing them toward the exit ramp. Asterisk. Alina pressed her hands over her ears, breathing hard. Asterisk. Adrian leaned close, voice steady despite the chaos. This isn't the end, Alina. It's the beginning. Asterisk. The beginning of what? She whispered. He looked into her eyes with a burning resolve. A fight, and we're in it together. Asterisk. The armored vehicle bursts out into the night, pursued by enemies hiding in the darkness. But Adrian held her hand and didn't let go. Their alliance, born in blood and danger, had just begun.